Throughout the Elder Scrolls game series, there exists hundreds of rare and unique items. Many of these special items even come from other dimensions, planes of oblivion existing outside of Nirn. Other items might be relics of a long-lost ancient culture, or a gift from the gods themselves. Some of these rare items you can even find in Skyrim. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fudge Muppet. My name is Michael, and in this video we're exploring 5 rare items found throughout Elder Scrolls history. These items will definitely fall into the misc category of things, so we won't be talking about weapons, armor, and jewelry, but rather special trinkets and oddities of great significance. I also want to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching this video and supporting our channel. I only realized the other day that we always say thank you in the outro of our videos, so many of you don't actually hear us say it every time, so thank you very much. Your support goes a really long way. With that said, let's dive into things with rare item number 1. Introducing the Memory Stones. Memory Stones are magical stones that can be used as a way to store a user's memories. They are thought to have originated in Yakuta, the very old, mostly lost continent that the ancestors of modern-day Redguards originated from. These ancient stones are quite expensive and serve as a way of preserving memories for future generations. It allows beneficial knowledge to be passed down and taught from one generation to the many that follow, and it helps to record the events of the past and much of history, negating the need for every little detail to be written down. A memory stone could also be used for personal reasons, so that people would know of their family if for some reason they were going to lose them. Many of these extremely rare memory stones ended up in Hammerfell after the Yakutans migrated from their original continent, but only a select few are still in existence. It is said that they are harder to find than a Sober Nord. The most noteworthy memory stone we know of comes from an Ansei warrior known as Miquella Lecki. If you've seen our lore video on Yakuta, you would have learnt that an Ansei is a Yakutan warrior who has mastered the art of sword singing. They could dig deep within their thought to materialize an ethereal sword from their very own soul. It would manifest itself in their hand and function as a very powerful weapon in combat, capable of much devastation. Miquella Lecki stored her memories in a memory stone before she died around the year 973 of the First Era at the Battle of Bankurai Pass. In this battle, the King of Daggerfall betrayed his Redguard allies and tried to take over Hammerfell. Lecki used her spirit sword to defeat the entire Breton army, and she even killed the Daggerfall king with it. However, she had been gravely wounded and died not too long after she quickly stashed her memories away into the magical stone. Rare item 2 is one that's really weird, and it involves an item known as a Star Tooth. 7 star teeth were captured by Aelids all the way back in the Merethic era, when this ancient elven race was flying around in airships. These prismatic crystals were taken from the skies back to Nirn from Aetherius, and are obviously associated with the stars, although what they really are still isn't fully understood. Anyways, these artifacts were considered the purest form of the light element by the Aelids, and while they cannot store magicka like a Welkind stone can, it is widely assumed that they are also made of meteoric glass, an ethereal fragment that rarely falls to Nirn. But what can these crystals be used for? Well, while it's said that they become less potent when placed near darkness or shade, the Star Teeth are actually used to defeat shadow magic. This is a very obscure form of magic that is rarely talked about. It was first harnessed by a powerful mage who realized that shadow was not simply an absence of light, but rather a reflection of possible worlds created by forces in conflict. It all sounds a bit chaotic and confusing, but in a nutshell, shadow magic involves controlling shadows to affect the forces creating it. It can rival the power of the Elder Scrolls by also being able to potentially be used to alter the present, the past, and the future. One common application of shadow magic involves the creation of weapons from shadow. There are also creatures of the shadow too. Anyways, the Star Teeth can be used to destroy this evil shadow magic and any shadow creatures, as was seen in the Elder Scrolls Travels Shadow Key. We then arrive at an item you might have come across on your adventures in Skyrim, a Dwemer Lexicon. Similarly to a memory stone, a lexicon was created as a device which could hold knowledge and information. However, instead of just holding memories, the lexicon could hold huge amounts of knowledge from various sources, and this information can then directly be put into the person's brain who activates the device. It's like a super advanced USB that you can plug straight into your head and transfer the files over, learning everything super fast. This portable information repository is one of the coolest and most crazy Dwemer inventions, and the sophisticated knowledge inside will likely simply send you crazy if you're not ready to handle it. It all depends what's in the box, but usually it is countless memories and knowledge from a ridiculous amount of Dwemer individuals, all compiled into the one cube. The cube is small, and the one you're given in Skyrim by an Argonian at the Riften Docks is black with glowing red Dwemer hieroglyphics. This leads to the quest Unfathomable Depths, in which you end up being rewarded with the Ancient Knowledge active effect. You get a permanent armor rating bonus when wearing dwarven armor, and you increase your smithing skill more efficiently too. It's therefore implied that the information inside this lexicon involves weapon and armor usage and crafting. Septimus Signus also gives you a blank lexicon in the main storyline, which you use to gain access to an Elder Scroll. It then becomes the Runed lexicon, which you can later loot off his corpse. This makes for a nice house decoration, but not too much else. The fourth item on this list is one you would be familiar with if you're a big fan of Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, although you can also find one in Skyrim if you've completed the Conjuration Ritual spell quest. Introducing the Sigil Stone. The lore on Sigil Stones is kind of complicated, and if you search online for a meaning, you'll hear this. A Sigil Stone is a pre-mythic quasi-crystalline morpholith that has been transformed into an extra-dimensional artifact through the arcane inscription of a Daedric sigil, which can then be used to create portals from Mundus to Oblivion. Well, this basically just means that it's an ancient magical stone which can have a Daedric symbol inscribed on it to allow portal travel between Oblivion and Mundus. Mundus being the plane of existence that encompasses Nirn, its moons, and the attendant Adric planets. A Sigil Stone is capable of holding huge amounts of magical energy in the same way a Soul Gem or a Vala Stone can. However, it is far more powerful and obviously has a different use. In Oblivion, Sigil Stones were used to open up and maintain Oblivion gates, and if you removed the Sigil Stones by going into the gate and physically taking it, the gate would close. You could then actually use the Sigil Stone to put a good enchantment on a weapon or a piece of apparel. This would destroy the spherical stone in the process. In terms of appearance, the Sigil Stone is a dark sphere with a red glow to it. It also emits a constant humming noise, which fittingly sounds very otherworldly. But how do you get a Sigil Stone if you're not smack bang in the middle of an Oblivion crisis, fighting your way up a tower inside an Oblivion gate? Well, in Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, we find out. In the Conjuration Ritual spell quest, you summon a Daedra Lord and beat him into submission. He finally agrees to go fetch you a Sigil Stone from Oblivion, and he does. He says that Lord Dagon is definitely not pleased at such theft, but the lore goes deeper than this if you look into it. Before a Sigil Stone is officially a Sigil Stone, it's just a blank magical stone called a Morpholith. These are only found in pocket voids of Oblivion, so as you saw in Skyrim, you'll need the help of a Daedra to get one. This cleansed stone must then be given to a Daedra Lord, who then must be instructed or forced into inscribing the sigil, turning it into a true Sigil Stone. With the right knowledge and techniques, a Sigil Stone can then be used to open temporary portals to planes of Oblivion, to enchant items, to summon items and Daedra using an Atronach Forge, and as shown in Elder Scrolls IV, to create permanent portals to Oblivion. In this case, the stone must be bound to a specific location in Mundus. And finally, we have something super awesome to come across on your travels in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and that is the Vala Stone. Vala Stone is Aldmeris for Starstone, and was created by elves, of course, specifically the Aelids. A Vala Stone is an enchanted shard of cut meteoric glass, you know, the same type of ethereal fragment that Starteeth are guessed to be made from. What it does is actually allow you to recharge an unlimited amount of enchanted magical items, regardless of your arcane talents. This means that even an untrained barbarian could use a Vala Stone to enchant his 5 flaming axes. In Oblivion, a Vala Stone would recharge all enchanted items in your inventory, but of course there's a catch. 2 catches, actually. The first catch is that the Vala Stone is destroyed in the process of use, crumbling to dust. This means that you can only use it once and then it's gone. The second catch is that the stones are extremely rare. They're found deep in dangerous Aelid ruins, and most of them have been looted after the disappearance of their creators. Some still remain, however, they're often found in cages and are easily concealed as a result. To get yourself a Vala Stone, you will likely have to fight through hordes of undead, and then figure out what button to press to remove the cage around it. Just hope the button doesn't activate one of the many deadly traps found in such ruins. While we do not know how to preserve the stones after use, some scholars believe that the Vala Stones were preserved and maintained by the Great Welkid Stone of an Aelid city, allowing for multiple uses. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I know I said it at the start, but I'll say it again now because I really want you guys to know. You guys are the best thing that's happened to all of us here at Fudge Muppet, and we're super grateful that you love and support our Elder Scrolls and Fallout content. Like the video if you learned something new, and subscribe if you haven't already and want more of these videos. Social media links are in the description. My name is Michael, and I look forward to nerding out with you again very soon.